Craftsman blower back, actually, old school. This is part of that lot we recently picked up on Marketplace. We got 1998 24cc. Being that old, this design, she got, it's picking it up. Let me see. This thing is old school. This doesn't have a throttle trigger. Well, you can see here's your handle where you hang on to it, right here. Yeah, I'll show you the switches. So this is actually your throttle right here. Push it forward for fast, back for slow. Your on and off switch. Here's your primer, and here's your choke. This thing's definitely old school. Doesn't mean it won't run. Well, old as it is, it could be wore out. I don't know. It turns over. It got the world's best compression, but it does turn over. Now, my guess, with this thing being this old, if it even runs, it's going to need fuel lines without a doubt. Of course, everything's encased, so we have to open it up, see what we got. We'll prime it, see if it even runs. Hope it'll at least run. If it doesn't, can't get it to run, then it'll be a parts unit. So hopefully it runs. It'd be nice if it ran. A lot of them, just because they're old, doesn't mean they won't work good. Hey, what do you know? It's got an air filter. Surprise, surprise. A lot of them I come across, they won't have those. That one's actually in really good shape. They're usually missing by the time I get them, but this one you can see you got this whole cover right here, so all the fuel line assembly and all that, everything is completely encased. So all that has to come off to actually see if the fuel lines work. But the good thing is, you can kind of see them. You can see them. These ones can be a hassle to do. Some people get a little intimidated by them. So what we're going to do is prime this sucker and see what happens. Got a little bit of fuel. It would be nice if I had a shorter piece of line. Ugh, God, that's nasty. So, oh God, we'll give it a little bit of T-cycle. Let's see what the tank's got. Yeah, I'll have to show you that. That looks like straight freaking oil in there. Alright. Oh God, I have to rinse my mouth out. Good job, buddy. Oh God, that was nasty. Okay, on with the show. Let's see if it'll kick off. Real slow. Let's try fast. Hey, looky there. We have fire. Alright, so no, it runs. That's a plus. So I believe, to get this cover off, got two Allen heads there, which I don't know if I have one out here with me or not that'll fit that. Man, that gas is terrible. Oh, let's see. Hopefully we do. That's probably too small. Yeah. Oh, man. It's enough to give you a headache. There we go. Alright, we're in business. Well, might be. Now we're in business. Okay. Hopefully, there we go. So it should just be the two, I believe. You got this one and one on the left of the carb. Or no, I am mistaken. That is just to get the carb loose. That might be one. Okay, let's try it. I haven't worked on one of these in quite a while. Not this design anyway. Yeah, there it goes. So the carb, it's hooked to the carb from the inside. I doubt any of you guys have one this old anyway, but oh man, well, it's definitely going to be gummed. Yep, fuel line's broke. There we go. See if I can show you. So it's pretty basic setup back in the day. Kind of dark out here. Let's see. If I can get you guys a better look. I'm in the shade trying to keep cool, so. Okay. A lot of people get intimidated by them because these can be a pain in the butt to put fuel lines on. Your carb sets here. Well, yeah, just both of them just broke. So here's our carb. It's old school. You can see how it's all gummed up. So this is one of those deals, you have it off, change the primer while you have it off. It's all gummed up, so it's definitely, whatever that is, definitely going to take some cleaning. Hopefully everything on the inside is still good. But you can see where your fuel lines, well, used to anyway, they run right where this is your on and off switch right here, the cables for it, and they run right through with it. Now with these, a lot of people get intimidated because of what's involved with them. Because your tank is inside the case right here. So all the ones I've ever done, you always got to split the case to access the tank, which doesn't really, I don't know, I shouldn't say it's bad. I mean, just a lot of sometimes people get intimidated by stuff, but you got to take your tube comes off, your blower tube has to come off. You can see where your case, it has the seam in it, so it has to actually split into two pieces to access your tank. You have your pull string back here. You can see the, I don't know if I have it on it, you can see the where your pull string is, the metal ring, so you want to make sure that goes back in place when you reassemble the case. And these, looks like they're all going in from this side. It's going to be an Allen head. God, I get rid of this cold. They're going to be an Allen head. You can see that there's the back side of your tank right here. So you got to split all this. This is where a lot of people just get frustrated. And these were good blowers back in their day. These ones actually had a vacuum option with them as well. So you have to take all them out, split your case. You can access your tank, run new lines. So that's what I'm going to do. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, maybe 8 screws. These ones up here, the whole deal, everything has to split into 2 pieces. So all them screws have to come out. So I'll get all them out. I won't hold you guys up with that. So I'll get them out and we'll take a look at what we got. Right, so this one is a little bit different than the other one. Same concept, more screws. So we ended up, this is the carb side. So you ended up having to take the, after we got the carb and everything off, we ended up taking off the choke lever, keep all that together. So now your screws get mixed up. And get your plastic where your carb rests, your choke lever and all that. You got the 3 there, that comes off. Then your plastic will come off. Now on the other side, where your exhaust is at, there's 2 screws that are buried. And you have to take the cover off over your muffler. But you have one, there's one coming out. So we got one here, it's under the cover, and one in the top, it's under the cover. They run through to this side, so it sits like that. Now, here's our tank, immediately falls out. Definitely had a fuel filter in it, we can hear that. Now this tank is, man, We'll pull that out, get it out of the way. That'll have to be cleaned. Now, if I can get that out, show you. There's our fuel filter. This thing is toast. It's just got, everything's just full of bad fuel. I can't even get any. It's just like, there, it's past thinner. This is more like engine oil. It's like the fuel is completely broke down and it's 2-cycle oil. Go inside of the tank. See if I can get some of it to come out. It's pretty runny. There's our pieces of line. There we go. So it's just like, that's what's in there. All of it's a whole coating inside the tank. It's like that. So it's just full. It's like the gas is gone, but 2-cycle oil is left, so the tank has to be flushed. There's no doubt about it. So once we get the tank taken care of on the inside, if you guys can kind of see how it's all rusty looking in there, that's actually just fuel's broke down, nothing left in it but oil. So you got your 2 lines. One's your main, one's your return. You can kind of see there's 2. Well, are they 2 different, or yeah? So it looks like you got 2 different size lines. One's a little thin. These things are like toasted. You can see there how you got one that's bigger than the other. You can kind of see it, I guess. So hunt down some line. Oh, here you go. Now you can definitely see it. Pop them out of the way. Now get that one to pop in. It'll come out when we flush the tank. There we go. So now, hopefully you can see where the upper line is bigger than the lower. So odds are it's probably the return. This is probably your main. So I'll get this flushed out. I'm just going to flush it out with some good gas and hunt down some fuel line, and we'll try to get it reassembled. Everything but the carb, so we'll have to take a look at it, because odds are you can see it on the outside right here. It's the same way. It's all broke down. So I'm sure we'll have to pop the bottom off, change the primer, take it off, take it down in there with me, see if I can find a new one. And because I'm guaranteed as soon as we start getting pressure on it, it's probably going to blow it. So might as well eliminate that issue now. And it's afraid, hopefully it's not too gummed up in there to where it's or corroded and froze up. So try to hunt down some goodies and we'll pick it back up. Let's take a look and see what actually comes out of this tank. 'Cause I'm telling you, this thing, I don't think our camera's picking up how bad this thing actually is. So I put 2-cycle in it. Start shaking the crap out of it. It's actually pretty clean now. Piece of line down in there I got to get yet, but you can kind of see it there. But might put a little bit more in it, shake it out, and rinse it one more time. But if you guys can see that bowl, and that is that is fresh 2-cycle gas I put down in there. That was actually blue when I poured it in. Now you can just kind of see it. So that's how nasty the inside of this tank was over here. So alright, hunt down some lines. Alright, so now got our lines in. This is the part a lot of people I've talked to in the past. This is the part that they dread, is putting the 2 pieces of the case back together. Because you got items like the cover down here that goes on the bottom, your pull cord like I was showing you, it's got the metal ring, it has to be in place, and you got the grommet for your spark plug, where your spark plug wire comes up through. You got all that, has to be lined up. You don't want to get them pinched. So for this, I believe it has a bridge it has to ride on. So sets this way. Here's your spring, because it's spring loaded, and you got the 2 pins. You got 1 on each. So see how much of a hassle this one's going to be. Hopefully not too bad. happy somewhere. There we go. Go. What we lacking? Okay. So something's binding up because I don't have the one pin. It's not happy with the one pin in it. So, goofy dog over there chewing up tree bark. Let's try it again. And that spring. Let's see if I can line it up after we get it in there. So that'll be good. How about we worry about that afterwards? Alright, so, oh, there we go. So we want to make sure, so our plug grommet's good. Lines aren't catching anything, the wires aren't catching. So it's all good. So now, problem you got is you know everything's going to line up back, it's going to line up good. So you got your handles. Your handle just doesn't slip down in. I should have had this on. This is my screw up. I should have had this on already because it sits. You got basically it's like 2 pins that are in the top. So I will have to slide it back off. Unfortunately, I forgot all about the handle. So hopefully we can get it just enough. No, this will have to open back up. And that, my friends, will be a task. There we go. Alright, just have to get it open up enough to get our handle in. Can't believe I forgot that, but happens, I reckon. A little bit more. There we go. Okay. Still in place. Since we had to take it back apart, let's see. What it's going to take to get that up in there. It's spring loaded, so it has to go. Oh, honestly, I don't even see what it catches on. Oh, it must be okay. I see. So the spring. Trust me, I'm no pro at this, but it looks like the spring has to go up. The flat piece up when it goes in to keep tension on this to keep it up. Okay, so that makes total sense. Okay, keep that in there a little bit of an angle, and I don't know how I'm going to pull that off, but screwdriver maybe. Get it? Nope. Well, she's stubborn. There's our pinhole. Oh, of course, I gotta get it lined up first. Okay. Man. So this is the kind of stuff that causes people not to mess with them, and they end up in the trash. Okay, there we go. And if it picks it up, you can see it in the back right here. If I've done it right anyway. Well, actually, it looks like it goes clear up on this lip, but it's gonna be a task for another day. We need to see if it runs. Okay, so now we got that. Everything's good, tight grommets. Everything's good together. So now all you got to do, reassemble all your screws the way you took them out, and it should all be on the exhaust side. They all going from this way, but like I was saying, you got one up here, one down here, and they hide behind your exhaust cover. If yours still has a cover on it, you got to take that cover off. It's got the 2 screws at the bottom, comes right off. Then you get those 2 in. So what we'll do is I'll reassemble all the screws and then pick it up. Alright, carburetor time. So the only issue I've seen so far, I did have the bottom off, everything looked good. Put the screen, get that out of there. Show you what we got. The screen is pretty restricted. If I had one, I'd just replace it, but I currently do not. But there you go. That lump is what we just took out of the carb. So that's not good. Could be worse. But the lower half seemed good. The other problem is I do not have, currently anyway, a new purge ball, primer ball, whichever you want to call it. Do not have one that will fit this. So we're just going to have to hope for the best here. Hopefully this one will last good enough long. I mean, it's still pretty flexible. There's no real cracks in it or anything. So maybe we'll get lucky with it. I hope. Okay, so get that installed. Get our lines together. Get the carb on. We're about ready to see if this old dude will fire up and run. And then go from there. We'll see. Alright, get this carburetor back on it and see what we get. Alright, we are finally reassembled. So all we done was new fuel lines, the fuel filter I have for it. I got to get one of those plastic adapters. This one's too big for it hooks up to that small fuel line. So I have to get an adapter for it to get a fuel filter on it. It's got 2 new lines replaced. Cleaned the carb out. Definitely had to flush the tank. So I just put some. All I have is 50 to 1. This calls for 40 to 1. That's good enough for me. See if it runs. So we're going to try our primer. I wish I'd have had a new primer ball for it. But I'm trying to see if we can see. Yeah, we can see the lines, but you can't see. Now you can hear it working. Give it a few pumps. Choke her off a little bit. Oh, don't give me that. I didn't even think to look at that while we had it apart. It's not good. Come on. As much as I hate to do it, I'm afraid we're going to lose that string. So we're going to have to prime it. Alright, let's try her now. No luck. I'm going to back her off a little bit. That's trying. There we go. So far, so good. It's blowing. bit of dirt. Pretty good. Now the trick is we'll start back up. Let's hope. Let's see. Should. Yeah, I can hear a little bit of hesitation in it, but for a 98 model blower, I'm not complaining. It's the only thing we had to do, so we got to get that one, run it too much without that fuel filter being on it. But so you got 2 fuel lines. Yeah, so 2 fuel lines, the filter, clean the carb out. It's ready to go. So can't complain about that. I think we got lucky the way that carb looked with the screen, and but you guys seen the fuel in the bowl. Honestly, I figured it at least needed a carb rebuild, but yeah, you see it, winter. We got lucky, but it runs. All right, so that'll be it for this one. We got, remember what did we get off that guy? We got the blower, trimmer, edger, and 3 push motors, so it's like 6 items for practically free. He just basically wanted them hauled off, and so jumped on it. It was nearby, so we was on it. So here we go. All right, guys, thanks for watching. It's got a, where's the model number? So it's a 1998 Craftsman, 24cc. The model is 358.797931. If anybody needs to know that, it's a Craftsman blower vac. Alright, thanks for watching. I think we got lucky, but hey, I'll take it.